sorry, that looked insane. Especially with this light in my face. Try again. Oh, Colleen, you're too hypercritical on yourself. On your human, on your pet human. Hi, internet. What the fuck is up? I don't care if you join me or not. I'm here because I want to be. I haven't done a damn thing I wanted to do in, I don't know, 2 years. And I like talking on the internet. So I'm going to. Whether you watch it or not. That's kind of how I started out. How are you, internet? And Marcos. My God, Marcos, where have you been? I'm still standing to quote Elton John, thank you. I'm sitting right now, actually. How are you, Marcos? What the shit are you doing, Marcos? How am I? I'm good tonight because I took a nap today. Have been curled up in fetal position. That's good, haha. I'm just, training for the jiu-jitsu match. How's that going? Are you gonna be Mr. Jiu-Jitsu? Is that an official title? Bless me. You're gonna be a pink belt in jiu-jitsu? Oh, I think I'm so fucking funny. It's going great. I've won too. Congratulations, Marcos. What color are you in jiu-jitsu? What's your jiu-jitsu name? Like Rex Kwando. Do you think anybody wants a roundhouse kick in the face while Marcus is wearing these pants? Marcus, I'm not making fun of you. Why would I do that? You could kick my ass. I asked you not to do that, Squeakers. I've been collecting reusable shopping bags because I take them into all these houses I'm going into for work. Not all these houses. There's 2 houses I go into, and I've been babysitting for my ex. That sounds funny. I'm not babysitting my ex. My ex had a child without me. Probably not the ex that you're thinking of that I'm with right now. That's a long story. Stop it, or you're gonna leave the house too. Like not my ex. I'm sorry. There's only three men in my life. One of them was my father, who just passed. He didn't really go gently into the night. He kind of raged. Anyway, yeah, Squeakers, another male in my life is in the Minnie Mouse shopping bag I just got at Big Lots because I accidentally ended up there, but I found a birdhouse I liked, so I was excited about it. Hey! That sounded abrasive. It wasn't. Hi, Squeakers. How are you? He's joined me in the chair I put up here. I was actually asked to do a reading today, and I chose to sleep instead because of the aforementioned migraine, fetal position, rolling up in a ball situation that I had earlier in the week. I wish you could carry on a conversation, Marcos, about jiu-jitsu, because now I can't. I'm never gonna know what color your belt is unless you come back. So yeah, I've been doing a whole lot of what everyone else in America wants. I shouldn't say America. I mean specials, special littles, which is actually what I prayed for. And I very much appreciate the open doors. Very much. And I've learned a whole heck of a lot. I'm just exhausted. And I realized someone told me I had the Riz. And I was like, is that a sexually transmitted disease? And they're like, no, like charisma. Like, why don't you get online and be Rizzy? And I was like, oh, thank you. I know a lot of words and I've not heard that one. But the reason is because I'm drained of my life force. Not in the same way that I was when I was working for the government, but in a different kind of way. A not so bad kind of way, except for I've noticed I have not been taking good care of myself. And I've been I've kind of fallen back into old ways that almost killed me in previous incarnations in this life and others, which is to people please and to be a yes ma'am, yes sir kind of person, even if it's on a baby or a special baby or a special little. It's still like you have to actually I got this at Big Lots today for my makeup because I think I dropped my other one. This says the Self-Love Club. Isn't it beautiful? I bought it mostly for the colors, but also because I need to be reminded to fucking take care of myself and my own energy. And so I actually realized one of these nights that I had a crippling headache. I mean, fucking devastating. And it actually felt like a cross. It felt like this and then this, pulsing and throbbing in my whole head, and I was naked on my bathroom floor over the toilet. I had thrown up at my client's house in her bathroom while I was taking her to the bathroom. I was like, hold on, I gotta chuck in your toilet and then care for you. It's not the cutest thing in the world. And I threw up in my Dee Dee's Discounter's shopping bag that was really cute. I told you I'm collecting cute bags. It had flowers all over it and it said bloom where you're planted, which is something I've had to do in my life, but then I barfed in it, actually almost on this, because the problem was she had said she was depressed and had been in all weekend because it's 112, and when she saw me when I got in the evening on Monday, she's like, can we go out? And I didn't want to say no, but I need to start saying no. And if it costs me my job or somebody has a Leo temper tantrum and fires me, lets me go, it's gonna have to be the case, because the headache that I got that fucking night when I came home from the mall when it was 112 degrees. I did get this at the mall. It's very adorable. It's crocheted flowers and Hello Kitty bouquets and stuff. It's fucking adorable. I got her a sunflower because she's a very very sunflowery kind of girl, and then I got myself this. But anyway, where was I going with this story? Oh, self-care, self-love, and that term gets thrown around a lot, but I threw up on her, threw up in my car, got home, closed all the blinds and shut all the windows. I never do that. And I had like this cross-shaped fucking pressure on my head, and I'm just crying in the bathroom, throwing up. And I asked my boyfriend to come over after work. He was living here, but my landlady just kicked him out. So he's currently has a roommate situation. But anyway, I asked him to come over after work and help me. I didn't know what he was going to do for me, but he did. He like brought me food, water, something cold to drink, helped me get in bed, helped me do the dishes because I fucking hate doing the dishes. And the whole time I wasn't with him, what was I doing? I had paper plates, plastic forks and shit. Like, I am not a fucking fan of doing dishes. I find it odd that I do it for a living. Another part of my job is to do that for a living in other people's houses. Dishes. I don't like dishes. But anyway, when he moved back in to help me, help himself, back at, what was it, 23? Or the end of 20, Christmas Eve 22. We got a bunch of dishes again because he cooks. He has a son in the 6th house. It's just routine and health. It's a Virgo thing, which is probably how we found each other. He's also a Virgo rising. I didn't know that. I thought it was Virgo, Aquarius rising. Oh my god, no wonder we're together. Anyway, that makes so much more sense to me now. I love astrology. Where the fuck am I going with that? Oh, but then yeah, but he can't live here anymore because we had a blowout with the landlady. I asked her to fix the fucking AC like I do every fucking summer because, you know, it's 112 degrees and it's a problem, and I have central AC, and she does the same thing every year. No offense to you, landlady, but you do. You tell me I'm the problem and that if I don't like it, I should move. And I said, that doesn't make sense because my lease says central air, so can you please come over here and fix it? Like, I'm speaking like this, like a normal human being. And then she's like, she says, your lease also stipulates that you live alone. Get your fucking boyfriend out of your house or you get evicted. And I was like, you're so fucking full of shit. And then I'm leaving for work one evening. I'm all cute, getting ready to go out the door. And she charges up to me like out of fucking nowhere and hands me this paper and then charges back to her Range Rover or whatever it is. And I was like, landlady. Because I thought it was an eviction notice. I was like, please. I was like, you're not evicting me, are you? Landlady, I'm not going to say her name. And then she just doesn't, I'm talking to her back. She's walking away. And then she slams the door of her Range Rover and like speeds off like the Wicked Witch of the West. No offense again. I'm just, I'm relaying the story, landlady. These are facts. I'm not even being dramatic. So I'm standing there like holding this notice. And she's gone. And I open it. And it says, he gets out of the house or you both go. So he went and found a roommate nearby, which is not cheap for him. Nothing is cheap in this state, which is not geographically, but inhabitant-wise, it's a shithole. There are homeless camps in cities and people who don't want to play in the Matrix anymore, and I don't blame them. But they're not looking very pretty on the side of the road, and they're not keeping their shit together. Like Rick and Morty suggests, all your shit, get it together, put it in a backpack, take it to the shit museum, whatever you gotta do, get your shit together. Like these houseless people, they're not attempting to do that. And I don't blame them on some level, except that I don't think a lot of them are sober, and I don't think a lot of them have dealt with their trauma or want to feel through it. So I do think that they ingest stuff to get through the day, which is, understandable when you're outside and it's 112 degrees. You have to deal with people like landlady and the government. I understand why you don't want to play. But, however, you've made it really ugly in California. Okay, so anyway. So he's a ways away, not that far, but close to his work, and he helped me as much as he could that night when he came back over after work. And I think he stayed the night with me. I'm like, just hold me. But it happened again, I think, I want to say the next night. I came home with a migraine. And I was lying in bed. And I was like, why do I feel like such fucking shit? How come everybody seems to have such a good time around me? My clients love me. You know, the friends, when I do go out, my boyfriend, a little bit different. There's a lot of fighting that goes on between us. But it seems to benefit from my company or my energy, right? So it certainly did in the past. There was an imbalance of power. It's just straightened out now after a lot of work. But anyway, people seem to enjoy my energy, and I am drained of it. I feel like fucking shit. I want to die. I'm on my knees, barfing, asking God to take me, and because of the physical pain that I feel after being out in public or intensively caring for somebody or listening to them tantrum or trying to soothe them or trying to understand, not even trying, but understanding their side of the story, or not even side, but where they're coming from, how they're feeling, and just taking that on. Not even meaning to, not even intentionally. It's just I guess it's what's happening. And I don't notice it until like the end of the night or the end of the shift or the end of the outing. And I want to die. Literally, like, I think I'm going to die. So when I was laying in bed by myself the following night after this had happened, I was like, I'm not dying. I seem to keep waking up every morning. Not like my father who finally passed, who seemed to also struggle with a lot of the same disharmony, discord in his own self, at war with himself, I guess you could say. And if he wasn't, I'm always at war with something on the outer. And if he wasn't, he couldn't rest, sadly. And I've noticed this about myself. And so the end of this long, I lost some of my articulation skills, I guess, because all I was doing was just listening to other people. And I'm not angry anymore. So I don't got nothing to rant about unless it's me and my boyfriend fighting in the kitchen about dishes. I'm like, look, you like to make food and buy food, and you like dishes, so you do them, because I'm not a fan of it. It literally takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours to do dishes. Because I'm obsessive about it. Almost quicker. Your little dish with the tunes on it takes too long. He's like, yeah, give me the fucking tunes, stop washing the dish, I don't care. Okay, I want to there is a point to this story is what I was saying, but I was lying in bed, just crying and praying because the pain in my head was so bad. And eventually at some point I put my hand on my heart and then around my own, like I was hugging myself, because I do this all the time and it doesn't seem to help, but I was just thinking, you know what's so sad about this? You remember in 2020 or 2020, whatever, when I quit my job and I didn't have headaches anymore, and I'm sitting here like, I don't fucking have headaches anymore. No, I'm so great. And now it's really sad to me that it's 24 and I'm back in debilitating migraine states. And I realize as I'm saying this, it has to be because of my interactions with other people and other energies. So I was laying in bed, and I don't often do this, but I was just like holding myself, maybe like the way I would ask my boyfriend to hold me, which he doesn't always like to do because he's an Aquarius. He likes to wrap himself up in his fucking blanket. This is a texture that I don't like. So we argued about that too. Like he's a burrito in this bad texture blanket. And I'm like, fucking hold me. Anyway. So I'm like, well, what if I just hold myself? And I'm crying and just breathing. And after like a half an hour with no Excedrin, I don't like taking Excedrin. It's the only thing that helps, but I don't want to take it at night after a long day like this because it has caffeine in it. And then I start getting in a caffeine addiction spiral. And speaking of ingesting, substances to cope. How do I look? Do I look majestic? I just dyed my hair. Yeah, I have hair dye on my head. Forehead. Could take a minute to see how majestic I look telling my story about migraines. So, but I had decided that night not to ingest the Excedrin, and I kept my hand on my heart, and I was trying to get the energy to flow. Obviously, your center is your heart, up through my jaw, and this cross is just fucking killing me. And eventually, I started to feel like not just better, but like really good, like really calm and really soothed and really cared for and like loved. And of course I prayed, but I'm always praying, for angelic assistance and support and God's love and my guides. And then I was like, well, what about my fucking self? Like, what about my own essence? What about my own soul? What about my highest self? God's created. Why can't I embody and pay attention to what I have channeled in my poetry and my art? This is me beating myself up further, which is mean. I'm mean to human Colleen. Because if I really think that I am a soul in a human body, why am I mean to her? Why am I nice to everybody else and then I don't say no, don't let her sleep, don't give her enough care, always have to be up doing something, which is actually, it was really hard for me to watch my father's death because he had very, 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 very bad dementia and he did not want to calm down, and he just he felt like he had to move and do and move and do and move and do right up until the very end. And I'm sure he's fine now. I can feel him. But that was very sobering for me to watch. It was for two reasons. Because I'm that way myself. And then the other part of it was, basically he went mad. I'm not gonna lie. I love the man. I always have. I feel like I've talked a lot of shit about him on the internet, which I don't think I think that was part of the problem when I pulled away in 2020. He wanted to keep painting me as crazy and looking at me that way, which I had heard all of my life, that I was crazy. And I had internalized it. And when I watched him go mad, literally, and once they put him on the drugs to calm him down, he started hallucinating and was angry about it. It was not like a nice, kind, happy hallucinating. It was intense. And at the end of his life, not that I'm deducing the man or the soul to this, because it's not the case, I'm not doing that. But after so much focus on negativity and fear. Hi Stacy, oh my god, hi. I miss you, Stacy. Tell me where you are. You're in the Bay Area, huh? But anyway, when I pulled away from him in 2020, it's not that I pulled away from him because I didn't love him or want to, Red Bluff. Where's that? That's way, way up there. Isn't it? I thought you were in, Monterey. You worked for corrections, right when I left. Oh, I miss you, Stacey. How are you doing? How's your little boy? I don't have children. Northern California. Yeah, isn't that way up, by Redding and stuff? That's 4 or 5 hours away from me, yeah? The last time I had talked to you, oh, I miss you, Stacey. Stacey was my correctional coworker. Actually, no, you worked for Pereira. You were like Jessica. I miss Jessica too. And then then you started working for corrections. You were a vendor friend, that's right. How old is your son? I'm babysitting for my ex's 2-year-old, a little Cancer child, and his Cancer as in the sun, the astrology sign. PIA. Oh yeah, PIA. County? Oh, you left corrections? Eleven is a master number. What do you mean by 11? I was thinking about Pereira the other day because when I just fucking quit, he was one of my favorite vendors, and I bet he was just fuck. No state jobs here. Your son is 11. Oh, I'm sorry. See how ADD I am. But you're not going to medicate me for it. Not you personally. 11. What's his name again? Are you still married? Did you get married? Not that that matters. Not that that defines you. I'm just curious. You work for the county? Is it the same kind of stuff, warehouse kind of stuff? You were always so good at that. Colton, and I'm still with Dave. Oh, I love that name, Colton. Great. That's awesome. I'm back with my ex from Tulare. Oh my god, that's a long story. I keep calling him for the longest time I called him my ex. I'm an accountant. What? What, Stacey? Excuse me? Or you're accounting? You're accounting like Sesame Street, like the count? 1, 2, 3. It's a magic number. Just math, LOL. Stacey. What have we learned about doing math? I should stop. You have your own personal path. What did I hear the other day? People look at people walking this way and they're like, oh, I gotta go that way. I must go that way. But they're trying to get west, but maybe you're already fucking west. So there's no fucking point in you walking west. You're already west. You're gonna fuck up your life. I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we all have our own GPS systems in our hearts, our own little paths to follow, which makes the world so great. Just math, LOL. Oh my god, should I send help? Stacey, math. Do you remember you and I trying to do math with Pereira? Or maybe you were better at it than me. I am just crazy. I mean, I know you need money. I learned that in 2022 when I was almost fucking prancing around like a fairy for a year without working. Do you know where that led me? Right back into my ex's arms. Which it's fine. We've grown so much and learned so much, and he's doing so much better, and I'm so proud of him. I love him. But I'm just saying, you have to, on this planet, we're challenged with, earning a living. To Larry, LOL. Don't laugh. He doesn't live there anymore. He actually lives with some guy down the street because my my landlady kicked him out when I asked her to fix the air conditioning. And then I got a letter today. She raised the rent. So happy for you, heart, heart. Thank you. It was kind of embarrassing having to tell people. I haven't told, you know, I didn't tell my sister for a year. Well, sometimes I'm estranged from my sister, but she asked to come over. And she's going down the hall to the bathroom, and like he sits up in bed and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And she's like, she screams because the last she had heard about him is me ranting online on the internet. And she's like, "Oh my god, I thought that was your clone or something in bed." We tried to move back that way to what? To Larry? Is it that hard? The other day when I was throwing up in my bed from caregiving, not bed, but that's gross. I wasn't doing that. I was like, let's just go move back with your mom and Larry. And he's like, fuck that, I love Sacramento. I'm like, what? And everybody fucking loves him at his work. Hanford, I fell out of escrow. I don't even know what escrow is. Is that like a real estate term? We tried to move back that way, fell out of escrow. You fell out of something? Are you okay? Are you okay, Stacey? Did you bump your head? Hanford. Yeah, I spent a lot of time. I think that my ex's another child lived in that area, so we drove around and around and around and around. I like the Hanford Mall, I'm not gonna lie. Red Bluff, that's where another one of my vendors was. Blue Eagle. I missed that lady too. I was thinking of some vendors from corrections. I'm so happy to talk to you again. Well, how far away is it? Do you want to... Let's go to lunch. I'm a caregiver now. And babysitter extraordinaire. Any open door, like... I was trying real hard to get into doors that were shut, and then I realized I'm looking around, I'm like, oh. Well, I wasn't expecting to get back with my ex, but then once I did, like, the doors started blowing open. They're like, you're gonna get this job. Caregiving. 5 hours. 5 hours. Yeah, that's kind of a halt. That's a drive. Especially when it's 125 degrees outside. You want to take the bullet train down here? Whatever. Did they finish that? I remember seeing it just stop midway in Fresno or Tulare or something. I was like, way to go, Gavin Newsom. Thanks for that. Thanks for spending all my fucking tax money on your fucking bullet train to stop in Fresno. I really wanted to do that. I want to take a bullet train to Fresno and then just drop off and die. Fucking asshole. Is he still governor? I 100% stopped paying attention to politics. Somebody had to tell me that Trump was running again. I was like, what? No bullet train? Come on, Stacey, let's hang out. I do have a car. I guess I could go up to that. I never have any time off. I was just telling a story about how I learned to self-love. Because I swung back the other way. I just started people-pleasing and doing, and oh my god, I need balance in my life. I will come that way to visit and let you know. Or we can meet in between. Yes, we still have the same governor. Why? Why has he been governor for like, I scared speakers. At least 10, 15 years, that fucking vampire dude with his vampire widow's peak hair. He looks like, what's his nuts from Batman Returns? Shoving Selena Kyle out the window? That motherfucker. I'm sorry, I don't like him. I work all the time, too. Yeah. I might take a week off around my birthday. I wasn't planning on spending it in Hanford, but like, or wherever you are. I need to I would love to hang out with you. I miss you so much. I have a completely different life now, my god. I'm the same governor. Well, we have that in common. Go away! Not you, Stacey. Gavin Newsom. You fucking... Doesn't he have to... I mean, I know it's all it's fake anyway. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just bullshit. They're just playing roles, you know that? They're reading from a stupid-ass script. And it is stupid. If you look around. I went into Rite Aid. There ain't nothing on the fucking shelves. I'm like, hey, I spent half my retirement here. Like, couldn't you keep up the store? And they're like, no, people just steal. I'm like, you know what it is? It's just a front for the pharmacy. Sorry, Stacy, I'm on a rant now because California's a mess. I assume the rest of the country is a mess too. She's like, bye, bitch. Bye. Sorry. I look forward to hanging out with you. But anyway, Rite Aid's, it's a front for the pharmacy, which is disgusting. It's one of the needs to come down. Many of these industries that are corrupt need to come down. Some of them already have. You just don't know it. But you can tell by walking to Rite Aid and looking at the homeless people on the street that it's not what they say it is. Let's see, governor. Okay, I scared Stacy. Stacy, I was telling us a story about how my father passed in a not so pretty way, which is okay. One of the things I was telling myself while I was lying in bed, clutching my heart, trying to feel better, I was like, it's okay. Mental illness is okay. Why am I judging that so hard? Maybe murder is okay. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not going to do that personally, but like, I'm sick of judging other people and myself so hard. Like, it's just an experience. Like, I didn't mean to swing that far. Murder's not okay. I'm not advocating for murder, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's like, I was just trying to tell myself that I'm okay, and everything that's going on in my life is okay. It's okay to have headaches. It's okay to be mentally ill sometimes. It's okay to be... It's just okay to be... I'm so critical of myself. So I'm not judging my father, but I'm just saying he did have a hard time because he never wanted to sit in his feelings or to take accountability. He always wanted to look outside of himself. And I think when I left or pulled away from that dynamic, I was probably one of the first to do it in the family in a very public way, and that was very hard for him to deal with because I had internalized everything that he had said about women being crazy and me being the problem. And as I watched him die, I realized if I had taken that fucking mindset of his that he projected out to me to my grave, I would have I'd be like that. I would have gone mad too. I can't believe I gave it so much validity when he was just acting from a place of, pain and his own trauma. But there was a lot of ego in it. I'm not gonna lie, my dad was a double Leo. Stacey's like, this isn't funny. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't think it's funny either. I can't really make it funny. It was very hard. The last couple of months have been extremely hard for me. And my brother and sister and I, it brought us back together, but then there was some fighting in the hospital amongst siblings. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm really proud of actually my brother in particular, and my sister, because like, I don't think either of them were so different or ever affected by my parentals in the same manner, because we're different. What did I say? Still standing. What does REM say? Stand in the place where you live, now face west. Don't think about direction, wonder why you haven't now. Stand in the place where you were, now face north. Something like that. Stand where you are. We're all coming from different places. But I was really worried that my brother was aligned with these very, very chaotic, hostile, toxic belief systems that my father had. And I realized he's not. And actually he had swung the other way. He was angry at my father too, which, I mean, everybody's justified. Maybe not justified. That's what I'm looking for. Everybody's allowed to feel how they're feeling. That's valid. How you feel is valid. But I don't think that my father loved himself, and I think that he was told that he was not worthy and not lovable from a very young age, and then he believed that, and then took it out on everyone else. And I believed it growing up. I was like, oh, I'm the problem. And then I realized I'm not. But there's a fear of God and in my family, or there was, I want to say. At least these are things I observed in my family. And a lot of hatred of God too, which I am guilty of. That's, in the past. We can all feel that way. But this is normal in all families. Most people just don't share. Oh, thank you, Stacey. Thank you. That's nice of you to say that. That makes me feel really good. Each and everyone does not share their fears. Well, yeah, and when you're male, and like my dad, like Capricorn, Leo, like it's even harder. And also he comes from way back, 1944, and New Year's Eve, 44. Way different generation. He did have a lot of struggles early on, I'm not gonna lie. He tells a story about how his grandpa was dying in the house, and they called the doctor pulled up and said he needed at least $10 to get, this is way back, this is in Texas, like not in the same ways. Thank you, Stacey. I love you. I really appreciate that, because sometimes I feel like a crazed loon ranting on the internet, but you're right, and I do, yeah. And I think if people knew that, then they wouldn't feel so alone and bad, and they could give some of these things to God, which is what I was getting to. And this doctor wouldn't come in the house. He goes, you don't have $10 for me to come in there? Fuck you, you're worthless. I'm not coming in there. He like literally said this in like I guess my dad was 5. He heard this, maybe a little bit older, and he watched his grandpa maybe die in the house, and the doctor drove off, and all he needed was like, maybe he needed something. Clearly he needed some care. And so he internalized, I want to say, I mean, there's a lot going on, I don't know the hell, but he was telling me, my brother, this story, and crying in the hospital, and during a lucid moment, and he wouldn't have admitted any of this during his life. Thank you, Stacey. We never saw my dad cry either. My mom said she saw him cry when she said he was leaving. She was going to leave him in the 90s or 80s, right after my brother was born. I love you, Stacey. Yeah, but I don't talk about this to be, so people are like, oh God, look at you and your dad and your family, what an asshole. No, that is not what I want. I just do it. I just feel called to, and it helps me, and it's cathartic for me, and I do a lot of what I don't want to have in my life, and I enjoy. I've done a lot of observing and sitting on the sidelines, on the outer, I call it, and I'm able at this point in my life to articulate it, and I like to. It makes me feel good. It's a hobby of mine, so I'm not a crazed loon. Right? You can tell me about your family, Stacey. I don't really know that much about. I know you had troubles with an ex who had told you. I guess I won't share if you don't want me to, but I remember being really shocked by that. I was like, what a jackass. Like, you wanted to have kids, right? And he told you that he couldn't or something. And then you went and got someone else pregnant or something? Was it something terrible like that? All this time, and then you were able to have a baby a little bit later in life. Yeah, that's fucked up. Not to judge that guy, but for you, that's a lot to go through. Something like that. And welcome to Stacey's life story, everybody. All the sordid details Stacey had no intention of telling anybody. No, but I felt so much closer to you when you told me that, because I was telling you what I was going through with my boyfriend at the time. I had struggled so mightily. You are very pretty and very smart, and you will do great. Thank you. Thank you. I feel the same way about you, Stacey. I always felt so close to you. ordering hay and sand and whatever we did at Ferrera's for corrections. My mom passed when I was 20 from cancer. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. You were youngin'. What kind of cancer was it? My dad just passed this year, July 2nd. I can't keep a linear story going. I don't know what the hell I was saying. But I went back into his house, was looking at pictures. We were gonna clean it up and bring him home for a hospice, but it didn't happen. He passed. And I went up in the closet and looked at, he had like this folders of like 3 different women. One of them was my mom. One of them was Susan, whom I saw him date in the 90s. I loved her. He used to look at me and go, "Shut up, Susan would be appalled." I'm like, why? No, I took it to heart and internalized it. I was like, yeah, I better change everything about myself. Susan's gonna be appalled. Susie, if you're out there, I don't think you're appalled. The other one, Charlene, there's an envelope of her. She visited once and he was so fucking mean to her. I will never forget that. I was like, why are you being so mean to this lady? But she looked at me and she goes, "You're very beautiful. You're very stately looking." And I was like, oh, I love this woman. Thank you. I think Susan said the same thing, that I was beautiful. I was like, yeah, Dad. Stop. And also, I have not told this story. I took his Honda Accord to the mall in 1990, I don't know what, the year that I got my license, and the motherfucking car was gone when I came out of the mall. I came out of like Journeys or whatever, and it was gone. So somebody stole his, which now I know is extremely common, and there's like a key for those cars. It was the most stolen car in the world ever. When I was young, my life seemed normal. After her death, I learned all the craziness existed in the world. Aww. I'm sorry, Stacey. We all have to learn that sometime, though. Oh my goodness. I just learned it a little bit earlier on. Were you close to her? When I was young, my life seemed normal. After her death, I learned of all the craziness in the world. Was she like a shield? Was she a buffer for you and the craziness? That's kind of sweet. Yeah, but I did not want to call him and tell him that the car had been stolen, but I had to. That was one of the worst days of my life. And then I remember the cop was at the house in the evening, and he kept looking at me and looking at my dad, and he's like, "It's not her fault." He's all, cars get stolen all the time, especially that one. And my dad was just beside himself. He wasn't going to listen. Of course it was my fault. My father, she held the family all together. I guess I was sheltered. Oh, your father was the craziness? Where's he at? And I'm not being judgy. I always have to preface and footnote everything with that. Or no. Your father shielded you from the craziness. I see. Well, that was nice of him. I can't say. I mean, my father. Yeah, my father. My father was always there for me. They're always there for me. Period. End of story. Always, up until I was there for him, and then not that he wanted that. He didn't want to accept any help. I kept telling him, I love you, I love you, I love you. He's all, what's that got to do with the price of tea in China? And one of the nurses was like, stop being so mean to your family. And he's like, why? They're not my employer. They're my family. I'm like, what the? I was close to them both, lol. We had some real sweet moments in the hospital. This guy came in, and you know what hospital it was? It was Mercy. I love that hospital. It's a Catholic hospital. Not that I'm like real, gung-ho Catholic, big on any organized religion, but there was a guy that came in, he kept coming in and playing with my dad guitar and singing. And it would make my dad cry. He has been married twice, married to a lady in her family. Her family does all of the things he raised me not to do. Uh-oh. What does she do? Now I must know. What does this lady do? Is it like Cruella de Vil? Stacey's laughing. Who is it? Is it like the evil Cinderella's stepmother? Her kids, lol. Oh, what do her kids do? How old are they? They're like your age, right? Are they in prison? Do they have Tulare tattooed across their forehead? My sister used to work in corrections with me, and she would always send me pictures of that guy. I'm like, stop! It was not my boyfriend. Thank goodness. I don't like Tulare or Sacramento so much that I would tattoo that on my forehead. Would you? Hanford! Fresno! Hanford is where Pereira was, right? He was born in 1945. Is he still alive? My dad was born he always likes to say that. 1945, basically. December 31st, 1944. Her son was in a prison in Nevada. Did he have he had Tulare across his head? Maybe it is that guy. I bet it's that guy that my sister kept taking a picture of. Oh. Does his forehead say Tulare? And when he looks in the mirror, it's backwards. Is that refrigerator on? I fucking thought I turned it off. Hold on. Oh no! Shoot! God bless. I hate that refrigerator noise. That's been on this whole time. Oh no! No Tulare tattoo. Oh, good. Tell your son not to do that. Tell Colton not to tattoo red blef on his forehead or wherever you guys are. The chaplain guy that would come in and sing to my dad, he sang, the last song he sang was King of the Road. This guy was fucking amazing. What a job, right? I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. And then my dad. There were times when he was not himself and his eyes were dark and flashy and he was raging and he was like my client, by the way, who also passed, the one that called 911 because she said she was going to kick my ass. Her eyes looked like that, like just demonic, like not himself, which I think is actually, I get the sense that dementia is like the soul separating from the body. It's like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore, and then like whatever wants to can come in and out. But anyway, we had some really sweet lucid moments in the hospital, and I have some good stories. I will have to call you during a normal hour. What, you don't want to talk online? In front of God and everyone. I don't know if I have your number anymore. Oh my God, Stacy. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Do you want to come over after school? Stacy's mom. I bet you're sick. You probably don't like that song. My ball! Anyway, after that guy was singing King of the Road to my dad, and he left and said, God bless us. My dad was real lucid, and his eyes were real nice and light and soft. And he sat up, and I was trying to feed him. That didn't go over too well. I brought him a McDonald's shake at the end that he liked, but he stopped eating. After that, but it was funny because I had been at Mercy before, and I had heard the term code blue, and it makes me think of Archangel Michael, who apparently has a blue energy. And I had heard this before in Mercy Hospital years ago and felt his presence. And then my dad looks up at the clock and he goes, Colleen, it's 3:33. And I look over at the clock and it is. And my dad doesn't talk like that. He never talked about angelic stuff like that. And the intercom is going code blue, code blue, code blue. And I just started crying. I cried so much in that hospital. We had to wait in line. There was an incredible line, the visitors line, every day for some reason. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, but the lady at the people that were there, the check-in people, were so incredibly kind. And she kept saying to me, I see you all the time, like, you need to fix your face. I'm like, what's wrong with my face? And she's like, you're so sad, so miserable, and so beautiful. I'm like, well, my dad's dying, you know, and he's not having a very nice go of it. He has really bad dementia, and he's kind of violent and angry most of the time. She's like, well, but you need to be strong for him because he's been strong for you all his life, and you need to you know, go in there and be strong. And I'm like, okay, but can't strong be, you know, soft too? Because that's been part of his issues, not being able to be soft. It's kind of done him in here in the end. I was just thinking this, I didn't say that to her, but I was like, the moral of her story was that I was too beautiful to be looking miserable. And I'm like, well, I am miserable right now. Sorry, not sorry. But I appreciate what she was saying. Many of the people there at that hospital at Mercy is just very merciful, graceful. I really appreciate that hospital. And some kid was on the piano in the lobby playing. I couldn't place it until later, but it was the theme from Up. You know that Disney movie? Or not Disney, the other one? Pixar? DreamWorks? I don't know, but it's a beautiful little movie about an old man that ties balloons to his little house, so he can go up and get away from, you know, the construction people who are trying to tear it down and build it. I don't know what they're paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Anyway, the theme, it's a real pretty little theme on piano, and some kid like walks up to the piano and starts playing it, and again I'm just crying and like, she's like, fix your face. I'm like, no, this is so beautiful. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm allowed to be sad. I have some good stories. I will have to. Oh, you had to go, Stacy. I'm sorry. I started babbling again. I miss you. I love you. I can't wait until I see you again. And oh, it says 28 seconds remaining. Okay, hold on. I don't know what the fuck. Bye, I guess. Maybe I'll be back. Love you. See you soon. Stay majestic.